friends, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are all doing really well. So I am super sick today. I've been sick for the past 5 or 6 days now, and it kind of started out in my throat and I lost my voice and all that kind of stuff, and then it went into my sinuses in my head, and it's just been awful. I've been sick in some form all winter and I'm getting super frustrated with it. But in this case I'm actually going totally stir crazy because I'm so sick and tired of being sick and tired. And yeah, I needed to have something to do to fulfill my afternoon because I'm just going out of my mind with boredom. So I thought, why don't I turn the camera on? This is going to be a really real video because I'm sure you can hear it in my voice, and do a book haul because Matthew and I did go out a few weeks ago to a couple of the thrift stores, and I did get some exciting finds. So no grail finds in here or anything, but some pretty cool books, and I wanted to get them all cataloged and up on the shelves and everything. I do have several stacks now that have to be shelved, so I figured, you know, I'll turn on the camera and share these with you guys. Maybe it'll bring me a little bit of joy, and hopefully it'll bring you a little bit of joy too. Yeah, Matthew actually took me out to one of the provincial parks this morning, just so I could get some fresh air and touch a tree, because I've just been so frustrated with being super sick all the time for the past little while. So I'm really hoping that this is the end of it, and because we're coming into nicer weather now, my health will be a little bit better. So I do apologize for the nasally sound, but we're here for the books. So hopefully you guys enjoy the haul, and I also hope you're having a fantastic old school April so far. Mine has been a little bit on the down low between working extra overtime and stuff at the beginning of April, and then that drove me right into getting sick. So let's get into the haul. I've got one adult book and the rest are middle grade and YA books, so I hope you guys enjoy. So the only adult book that I have, and I really kind of hemmed and hawed on this because for adult hardcovers specifically, the thrift stores prices now are getting like absolutely ridiculous. But the Anne Rice hardcovers are getting more scarce to find, and pretty much all of them now are higher on the tier of what I would consider paying for a book. But this one I didn't have for the collection yet, The Tale of the Body Thief, which is part of the Vampire Chronicles. So I wanted to go ahead and grab that one. I took it off the shelf, I put it back, I took it off, I put it back, and I finally said, it's $7, go ahead and buy it. So we've got this one to put up. I've got now my Stephen King and my Anne Rice hardcovers are over on another shelf, on a new shelf. If you haven't seen my most recent library tour, I did do a bunch of reorganizing in here, so I'll have that link down below in the comments so you can see how the library is coming together. And then moving into some movie and show novelizations, which is a shelf that I started, was it last year, probably late the year before, and it's vastly growing. Like every time I'm out now, I'm finding some sort of movie novelization or show that I used to watch as a kid. So recently, just earlier this year, I think I started collecting the Full House novelization. So we found 3. So we have this one, Sisters, that has Michelle and Stephanie on the front. And then we have 2 individual ones. So we do have a Michelle book, Not So Great Outdoors, and we have another Stephanie, Hip Hop Till You Drop. And I'm sure this has a tie-in with one of the episodes where she gets like really scared going on stage and stuff, and has some stage fright and everything. So I thought this was super cute. So I have quite a few of these now. I'm probably 5, 6. So I was super excited to find these and put up on my movie and show novelization shelf. And then along the same lines, I did find 2 Lizzie McGuire books. There were a bunch more, but when I went in and checked on my bookshelf app, I always take my app with me when I'm out book hunting, because sometimes, like, you know, I see a book and I really don't know if I have it or if it's just on my wish list. But I did find 2 Lizzie McGuire books. So there, like I said, there were a bunch more, and but these 2 were the ones that I was missing from the ones that were there. So we've got When Moms Attack, and there's 2 types of Lizzie McGuire books. So these are the novelizations, and there's also some graphic novels that I have as well that are kind of like comics or manga, cinemanga I think they call them, and they have Lizzie McGuire ones. So this one is When Moms Attack, And then we have A Very Lizzie Christmas with the whole family on front. So I was super, super excited to get these ones. Lizzie McGuire was a little bit like when I was coming into my early 20s, but I loved putting on, I think at the time it was the Family Channel, and watching this show. It's definitely one of my favorites. And then getting into some actual movie novelizations, I do have this one. So I found My Girl, which is a devastating movie, and I don't think now my heart can take watching it as an adult. But I was super, super excited to find this one, and it has the yellow kind of sprayed edges that was really super popular when I was a kid. So this one is in fairly great condition. There is a crease on the back cover, but it's flattened out. So unfortunately that's there, but other than that, like the spine is completely intact and there's no other blemishes or anything. So I was super excited to find this. Of course, it's one that we all watched as millennials growing up, so I was excited to find that one. And then along the same lines, I do have another Macaulay Culkin. So this one, so for Home Alone, unfortunately this one is not in great condition. It's a little bit bent, but I think once I get it up on the shelf, it'll hopefully straighten out. But I did want to go ahead and grab it because I do have Home Alone 2 Lost in New York, but I was missing this one. So if I find a better copy, I can always replace it. You know, when I buy my books, generally, first of all, they have like a buy 4 get 1 free deal when you go in. That's like a constant thing. And then I typically have a 20% off coupon. So like on average, I'm spending between say $1 and $1.50 per book. So I don't mind like changing them out if I find a better copy. So this one, and I love these with the movie novelizations. They do have the full color movie scenes on the inside. And then of course I was super excited to find this because we lost Catherine O'Hara not that long ago. So yeah, that was a great find, especially because I have the second one. There's a couple now on the movie shelf that I have the second in the series but not the first one, so this was an exciting find. And then the last one that I have for my movie and show shelf is actually a really special one. So not a whole lot of people know about this movie because it's actually an Australian movie, but it was one that I think my parents taped it off TV when I was growing up, and I watched it constantly. And it's a mixture between like real life settings with cartoon characters. So it takes place in Australia in the outback. Sorry, I'm trying to cut out all my coughs and sniffles. But it takes place in the Australian outback, and it's about this little girl who gets lost. She goes out to play and she gets lost, and there's a kangaroo. So it's called Dot and the Kangaroo. And I believe the book was written first, and then obviously there's a movie based on the book. But she befriends a kangaroo who has lost her Joey. So Dot becomes like her Joey, and the kangaroo is trying to help her get home, and they meet like kookaburras and there's didgeridoos and stuff. So you're kind of learning about Australian culture, and it was a movie that I watched constantly when I was a kid, but the ending is super, super sad. So my mom and dad would always have to watch kind of out of the corner of their eye when I was getting to a certain part of the movie and turn it off before it got to the end, because I would like bawl my eyes out because the ending was so, so sad. So it was kind of like a happy sad sort of ending. But when I saw this, it was so weird because, like I said, you know, being here in Canada, obviously we don't have a whole lot of Australian things, but it's such a rare thing from my childhood. So this was actually a really, really special find for me. And then one random one, I did get a point book. This is not out of the point horror. This is more of, I would assume, like a thriller. So it says When the Phone Rang by Harry Mazer. The phone rang and everything about Billy's life changed. So this is kind of like a contemporary or a contemporary into thriller book, and it has the old rotary phone on the cover, which I absolutely love. It just made my day to see that. And it's in fairly good condition. So when I see these point books, you know, the contemporary or the thrillers, even outside of the point horror collection, I do go ahead and pick them up because they're usually pretty cheesy. They're pretty good. Okay, and moving into some YA and middle grade books. This one is actually a new book, but I read another one from this author not that long ago, and I really, really enjoyed it. So, and the cover just drew me into this one too, so I went ahead and picked it up for the sake of, you know, $1. So this is called The Nightmares by Dan Poblocki, and I recently read the first book in the Shadow House series by this author, and I really, really enjoyed it. He is a very, very good spooky writer. Like I said, this is not, oh, there's treasures. We have a guitar bookmark, which is fantastic. So we have what looks like a purple Fender Strat here. So that's very, very cool. Love finding treasures in my books. So this one is from 2011. So yeah, it's definitely a newer one. So definitely spooky. So it looks like they have these spooky twins, almost like inspired by The Shining on the front here. And yeah, like I said, I read The Shadow House probably about a month or two ago, and it's been in my collection for quite some time, and I really enjoyed this author's writing, so I definitely wanted to pick this one up for the ghosty shelf, and I'll keep an eye out for more by this author as well, because I definitely want to read more from him. Another kind of exciting find that has to do with one that I already have in my collection. So I do have Return to Ghost Hotel, which has like a pinky kind of purpley cover with like a skull, I think it's a skull in it. And so when I saw this one, Ghost Hotel, which is the first one by Larry Weinberg, there are plenty of secrets in this old house. I was super, super excited because I really wanted to read the second one, but I didn't know how tied in it was to the first one. So obviously I wanted to see if I could wait to get this one, and I did. And so I'm super, super excited because now I have both. I'm assuming there's probably only 2 in the collection. Let me know if there's not. But yeah, this was definitely a good find, and I love the old kind of like Victorian style house on the front. It's just everything right now. Next up, this one is also super cute. So this is a minstrel book, My Babysitter is a Vampire by Anne Hodgman. So this looks really super cute. So these, you know, I'm really kind of looking forward to, oh, it actually has, it actually talks about summer vacation on the back. But I actually want to pick up books like this during the summertime. You guys know I hate summer, and here in Alberta where I am, we go from winter straight into summer. So like the other day, we had like record snowfalls. I worked from home for 2 days, well, for one because I was super sick, but we had record snowfalls, and then the next day it went to like 10 degrees and all the snow disappeared, and now it's going up into the 20s. So our weather is crazy, so it is going to be summer very, very soon. I'm sure it's going to be around the corner. But I definitely wanted to pick up some of these books during that time because they look super cute. They're popcorn reads, and I think it will be really great to kind of, you know, I'll be out of my busy season as well at work, so I definitely want some palette cleansers, and I think that one's perfect. We did find a Twitches book, so it's been a while since I found a Twitches. I still haven't read any of them yet. Of course, I have the first and second movies, but I haven't read any of these yet, and it's been a while since I have found one. So this one is number 9, Split Decision. So this is a special edition exclusive sneak peek of the world of Coventry and magic. My goodness. Okay, so this is number 9 in the series. So, and it's in really, really good condition. Like, this was on a shelf for quite some time, I think. There's no dings or creases or anything in the covers, which is really hard to find these now without that. So super excited about this. I have quite a few in the Twitches series. Should see if I have number 1. I think I do. And then I can actually start reading these. We found a couple of Apple paperbacks. Sorry if my voice is starting to go up and down. So we have a little apple. This is Valentine Frankenstein by Maggie Toohill. So this is super cute, and I think I specifically remember this cover from my childhood school library. I think I remember this one specifically. I'm not sure if I read it. I'm sure if I read it again, I'll be able to tell. But these are always super cute, and I have like a whole section that has to do with like 4th grade or 6th grade or whatever like that within my Apple paperback, so this was a super cute find. And then this one is another one that I would like to put in with my summer reads. You know, kind of that Betty Wren Wright sort of Apple paperback, really short reads. We do have another Apple that has the frame with the apple on top. So this is The Ghosts of Hungry House Lane by Sam McBratney. And then it says Scaredy Ghosts on the bottom. So this is a really, really fun cover. Like, you have this young girl, but then there's like all this craziness going on up above. I have absolutely no idea what's going on, and it was the cover that intrigued me. And then it says on the back, they aren't afraid of those kids. So they're nice ghosts, people ghosts, ordinary happy ghosts. So that's really cute. So I guess this is more from the ghost's perspective when kids move into the house or move into the neighborhood or whatever. So that's super, super cute. I'm excited for this one. There's another one, The Ghosts of Mercy Manor, that I put on my list for Old School April that I haven't gotten to yet. And it's really like ghosty sort of reads that keep me going, and they're great palate cleansers. I'm actually reading a demonic horror right now that I'm really, really, really enjoying, but it's definitely time for me to switch to something a little bit lighter, a little bit more popcorn-esque, to kind of like clear out all of that heaviness from, you know, more of the adult horror. So that one will for sure be perfect. We have 2 out of the Girl Talk series. So Girl Talk is another series that I've been collecting for quite some time, and I haven't found any books in this collection for eons. So I was super excited about these. So Girl Talk, if you don't know, like, there's a whole series of these books, but it's based on a game that I had when I was growing up in the 80s and 90s, and you would spin it, and it was kind of like a truth or dare sort of game, and there was cards that you could pull, and there was like dares that you could do, or all of this kind of stuff. So they came up with a book series, and I did read a few of these when I was a kid too. So this one is Baby Talk number 21. Allison's mom had a baby. So looks like somebody's got a new little stepsister. And this one, or I guess a stepsister because pink. And this one, Cousins, is number 24. And these ones are in really, really good condition, again, with the Girl Talk series. And these kind of like middle grade to YA girls series, it's really, really, really hard to find these in good condition. So I was really happy with these finds. And this one says, things aren't always what they appear to be. Sometimes they're better. So it looks like we have very much a mean girl here. I have no idea what the story is about. It says, will Sabrina's cousin teach Stacy a lesson? So yeah, she definitely looks like a mean girl. But I did read 1 or 2 of the Girl Talk books a couple of years ago. There was one that had to do with like a camp out sort of thing that they were going on with school, which was really, really cool, and it was quite good. So I definitely want to read more of those. I did find one replacement book. So we have a Babysitter's Club. So this is Babysitter's Winter Vacation. And I already own this one. Is this another treasure? Oh, cool. I didn't even know this was in here, like from the original book. Okay, so it's Babysitter's Club Winter Vacation. The one that I have is not in good condition at all. So I went ahead and got this one as a replacement. But also, just noticed this, and this brings me so much joy and happiness. It still has... it's like a postcard. So it says Season's Greetings, and on the other side it says best wishes for happy reading and a super special winter, Ann M. Martin, and you could put a stamp there, like it's a whole thing. So the one that I have, oh yeah, it's a special postcard from Ann M. Martin inside. So that's very, very cool. The one I have either wasn't this edition or printing, or it was already removed. I didn't even know that they had that in there because I'm pretty sure I read this one as a kid. So that's very, very cool. I'm glad I went ahead and picked this one up. And that just brought me a little bit of joy for today. And then, you know, sometimes when I'm out thrifting, I see books that aren't usually talked about on BookTube, or I'm completely missing it. But it's like a slap in the face with nostalgia because it's something that I read as a kid that I had completely forgotten about. But there's certain little aspects of the book when you look at the covers that it just hits you. It just unlocks a memory. And for me, it's this particular series. Now, I've always loved gymnastics. I was never in gymnastics, but I always watched it on TV, and I was huge into the Olympics and stuff like that. So this particular series, The Gymnasts. So this is number 12, Out of Control, by Elizabeth Levy. And for this series, it was actually these little illustrations on the side going up the spine of the book. That first was my first slap of nostalgia. And then when I looked at the back, this particular picture, which I believe is on the back of all of the books, was the other slap of nostalgia, and I was like, oh my god, I'd completely forgotten about this series. And it's one, like I said, that I haven't seen anybody on BookTube talk about. If you guys read this series, or you remember it, or you collect it, by all means let me know. And then this one was a special companion book to this series. So this is an Apple series as well. This one says Scholastic, but so this is The Gymnasts Go for the Gold by Elizabeth Levy, a gymnasts Olympic special. So this is out of the original series. Then they came out with a special that had to do with, I guess, well, I mean, obviously it was one of the Olympics, but I'm not sure which year. What year did this come out? 92. So that's fantastic. So I remember the 92 gymnastics and the whole rivalry that was going on. I had it taped off TV actually. So I can't remember actually having this book, but I do remember this series, and I probably either read this or bought it at some point and just completely forgot. So this was a really special find for me. So there's been a couple of special finds. So like I said, there's no grails in this haul, but there's ones that are super special because they're things that I forgot about, and are super rare, or it's things that to me especially is you know, something that probably not a whole lot of other people know about, like the Dot and the Kangaroo book, but it's really super special to me. So this is one of those series. So I'm super excited to have found these, and I'm definitely going to look out for some more. Okay, we did find some Sweet Valley, and then along the same lines, I have a few other books that are really cool, that I'll get into it when I get to them there, but it was a super cool find. So this one is number 3, the Sweet Valley Twins, number 3, The Haunted House, which is right up my alley, of course, and might actually go in with my summer reads. I'm not sure if I actually own that one or not. It didn't come up in my my app when I was looking at it, but it didn't look familiar to me. And then this one, number 23, Claim to Fame, also in the Sweet Valley Twins, and this one is in really good condition. Both of them are, but this one is especially, like, it's still super shiny. There's very few little dings on it. There's one on the spine here, but everything else is great. So excited to find that. And then we have one of the high numbers that I was actually waiting to find. So this is the Sweet Valley High number 98, The Wedding. Looks like whoever read this, looks like they read the heck out of it, because the spine is actually falling apart. But these are really rare to find, so I went ahead and grabbed it, and like I said before, I can always find a replacement. But I was excited to find this one because I know that some of the other ones around this kind of tie in with the whole wedding aspect. So this one was definitely, like I said, it's not a grail find, but it was a good one because the high numbers are starting to get really rare now. This one, Winter Carnival. So this is another one that I couldn't remember if it was in my collection. I must have checked my app when I was out, but either it didn't turn up or I realized it was one that I needed as a replacement. So we have one of the super specials, Winter Carnival, in the regular Sweet Valley High. And then we have 2 out of the SVU. So this one, number 7, Sweet Valley University, Goodbye to Love. And they had like a whole slew of these as well, but I went through all of them and made sure that I wasn't buying any duplicates. And then this one, so in my last book haul, I had another one of these SVU Lifeguards, which is an offshoot that I didn't even know existed, and then I went ahead and found another one. So this is number 23, Sweet Kiss of Summer. Hopefully this is the one I got this time and not the one I got, no, the other one is over there. Okay, Sweet Kiss of Summer. So like I said, some of these aren't in good condition, but for the sake of $1.25 or whatever, I went ahead and picked it up. And yeah, it says, what does the front say? Now a hit TV series. So this does have the TV show sort of actors tied in on it. I think probably, do all of the ones? No, this one doesn't. So this is SVU and it doesn't have the actors from the show, from the looks of it. So I think some of them do and some of them don't. Oh yes, and then getting into these ones. So these were really cool finds. They were obviously from like either a local library or high school library, and I didn't even know these existed, but they're the like kind of middle grade NYA series, but they're in library bindings. So super cool. Like, it doesn't say that it belonged to a library actually. So I didn't even know that they released these in hardcovers, but I do have a couple of Sweet Valley High. I'm going to keep an eye out for more of these because I figure if I found a couple, there's probably more around the city. So I got the Love Bet and the Stolen Diary. And these ones are probably ones that I already own, but like I said, anytime I find cool things like this, I definitely want to add it to the collection. So that's another collection now I have to start trying to find, is getting them all in hardcovers as well as the original paperbacks. And then there's 2 out of the Pen Pals series, which is another young girl series that I do collect. So we have The Boy Project and Too Cute for Words. So these books are too cute for words. Look at that. That's fantastic. I love these. And I just went head over heels for these when I saw it in the store. So let me know if you've ever seen ones like this, because this is a first for me. And then there were a bunch of other ones that are just kind of like random one-offs, not having to do with like a series. So we have 2 Guys Noticed Me and Other Miracles. So we have this one, and we're getting into the Sears catalog models that were super popular then. Marcy's Secret Book of Dating, and then Marcy's Secret Book of Flirting, Don't Go Out Without It. So these are super, super cute. Definitely like summertime kind of reads. And then this one by Gloria D. Miklowitz, Love Story, Take 3. So definitely, you know, that kind of YA middle grade sort of love story. But this one was my favorite. I had to laugh out loud. I have read some of R.L. Stine's books that have nothing to do with horror, and they're hilarious. So we have How I Broke Up with Ernie by R.L. Stine. And I thought this was super, super cute. I might actually try to squeeze this in for Old School April, because why wouldn't I? But this is super cute. It's hardcover. Oh, these are like out of these books for girls. I think Cameron Chaney talked about these. They have the stamp on the back that say that they're books for girls. And I think there's books for boys as well. They all have them, yeah. I think I remember Cameron talking about these once before, but this is definitely a first for me, and I'm for sure gonna keep an eye out for more over the summer of these. Okay, I'm gonna have to speed up because I'm starting to cough. Out of the romance section, so we have Malibu Summer by Jane Claypool Minor, One Unforgettable Time. Doesn't look like there's a number on this one, but it's fairly chunky. Like, look at the size of that thing. So it must be like a super edition. So it has all the characters on the back here. So I'm assuming it somehow ties in with some sort of series. Then we have this one, Be Still My Heart by Patricia Hermes or Hermes. And this one is an ex-library copy from the looks of it. Not in great condition, and there's a sticker on the cover, but definitely going in my cheesy horror collection. We've got one out of the Wildfire series, He Loves Me Not. Almost like it's a knockoff of like a gothic paperback, with her sitting at the piano with the candle, and is that a candle in the background? And then this crazy 80s kind of blouse. We have a couple of Lurleen McDaniels. So I have Please Don't Die. And then I have Goodbye Doesn't Mean Forever. So my Lurleen McDaniel collection is getting quite big now. We have an Anne M. Martin that has nothing to do with Babysitter's Club, and I have a couple from her within that YA romance kind of section. Just a Summer Romance, Can Melanie Forget About Justin When the Summer's Over? The classic summer romance from high school. So very, very cool. I have a couple now, like I said, by Anna M. Martin outside of the Babysitter's Club, but I haven't read any. So BSC is the only thing that I've ever read by her, so it'll be interesting to see what that one is like. Oh, we have another Lurleen McDaniel that wasn't with the others. When Happily Ever After Ends. So, oh my goodness, she's just so melodramatic. This family, I suppose their life is falling apart, and I'm sure there'll be a miracle at the end if something is going to happen. But this one was one that I found that I'm actually super excited to read. This is called The Silver Kiss, and I'm so sorry I can't read the author's name. It's really super tiny on the spine, and It's not on the cover, which is really odd, but it's this teenage girl who meets a vampire. So I thought this would be super cool to read. I've never heard of it before. I've never heard anybody talk about it, but of course, you know, I get in my moods where I want to read vampire books, so this one would definitely go in with that, although it will probably be stored on my my romance shelf instead of my vampire shelf. So there you guys go. That's everything I wanted to share today. I'm definitely getting tired. I'm definitely starting to cough, but thank you so much for spending some time with me and helping me feel better by going through these books. So I'm probably going to go up and nap on the couch, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Leave me a question or comment down below because you know I love chatting with you guys. But until next time, stay spooky, everybody. Bye.